As you were at the top of the table over in the Bundesliga, as Bayern remain tip of the top of the table with Leipzig hot on their bloody heels. What will go on in this weekend's games? We'll take a look at that and much more next. That's right, folks. Back once again on a prediction video today. It's all about match day number 9. That's right, over in the Bundesliga, as Leipzig try to outdo Bayern München. Can they get it right this time around? We'll take a look at that and much more in a second. If you knew where you've been, smash your subscribe button. One-stop shop for Bundesliga, Blabbing Rovers, Bloody World Football. We're going to all here under one roofski. That's right. It is a spicy looking top 4 right now over in the Bundesliga, with the champions Bayer Leverkusen in 3rd. Who's in 4th? That's a bit of a surprise. I'll tell you in a second. Big shout out to the VIPs. They are the Patreons. You know who you are. And a big shout out to the members. You know who you are, of course. So I appreciate the love it over there. We're going to turn the clock back to this past weekend, look at those fixtures, results, my picks and all that kind of stuff. And we're going to kick on forward to this weekend's games. Well, here we go then, guys, looking back at last weekend's matches, and here they come. Starting off with my boys, Mönchengladbach could only draw with Mainz. A bit of a shitter there, really. A couple of points lost, perhaps. Stuttgart with a big 2-1 win over Holstein Kiel. Got them pretty much close to the money. RB Leipzig with a 3-1 win over Freiburg. Spot on the nose for me. Dortmund, what's gone wrong with Dortmund? I did see something out there on Twitter saying Eric Ten Hag for Dortmund. It does sound like an interesting opposite proposition if it was to come up. Meanwhile, Wolfsburg drew with St. Pauli there. Leverkusen going to draw with Bremen. Bayern München with a big 5-0 win over Bochum with a 4-0 win. Union Berlin with a point against Frankfurt, and then Heidenheim with a draw against Hoffenheim. So pretty shitty for me in the old prediction league. But this is the table as it stands right now. As you see, it is Bayern, it is Leipzig, both yet to taste defeat, with Leverkusen hot on the heels, 5 points off of them. Union Berlin, though, up there in 4th. They are back, and they are looking good as ever. My boys, Mönchengladbach in 11th. A win, though, away from 7th. Going down, St. Pauli, Holstein Kiel, and Bochum, of course. What about the Super Brewski? I know you've all been waiting because it's been a little bit of a delay in getting back to the Super Brew, but it's loading. It's loading. Bear with. Here it is, guys. Here it bloody is. It's Black Panther tops the charts at 17 points this past week. Saki alongside him with 12.5. Goodness gracious, a big gap between Black Panther and Saki there. Also up there with 12.5. I am all the way down. I didn't do great. Doesn't look like. There, 3 points. Oh, you know what? I think I had a bit of a shitter this past week. Is there a way to look at me and look at my picks? Let me go back here. Round results. That's not what I want. Matches. Did I actually put in my predictions last time? I don't fucking know. No, let's forget about that because I'm going to get all down a rabbit hole. But I'm still in 8th despite a real shit show there. So I'm down 4 spots. I was flying high. Shepherd, though, kicking ass. 75 points to his name. I'm a good 9 points off the heat right now. Frosty's up there, though. Big mover to number 2. Saki and Osho Omamura also big movers upwards, as it is Costas K's leapfrogged me in the process. But it's still wide open. Anyone's game, anyone's guess who's going to be number 1 at the end of the league. Meanwhile, you can get involved with the prediction league. It is wide open and free as well, so make sure you get involved with that. The link is on the screen right about now. But we are now turning the clock forward to this weekend's games, and we've got a whole host of Bobby Dazzlers coming at you, including Dortmund against Leipzig. But we're going to start off at the top of the shop with an absolute ding-dong classic in itself. That's right, folks. We are going to go to Bayer Leverkusen, taking on Stuttgart, coming at you over at the Bay Arena. And once we get going, we're going to look forward to this absolute cracker. And it starts on Friday. Goodness gracious me. So the Bay Arena is the venue. So let's get cracking and have a look at these two guys. Leverkusen coming at you on 67% form for them right now, sitting in 3rd with 15 points to their name. Unbeaten in at least the last 6 matches, but drawing 3 of the last 4. Not as intimidating as were last season. Stuttgart, though, up to 8th right now, 12 points for the campaign. Back-to-back wins, just 1 defeat in the last 6. They played 64 times, like I said, 40 wins for Leverkusen, 11 wins for Stuttgart, 13 draws. That's stretching back since 1992. The last time they played was in the Super Cup. Leverkusen coming out on top after penalties. The last time they played in the league at this very venue was a 3-2 win for Leverkusen. There was always goals last season. In fact, if we tally them up, there's 9 goals scored in the 2 games between each other. In fact, scrap that, reverse it, spit it on out. They actually played 3. They actually played between now and the start of last season. They played 4 times, twice in the league, 1 in the DFB Pokal, and then of course the Super Cup final. Leverkusen not losing any of those games. Of course, Leverkusen on the back of that 2-2 draw is Bremen. Stuttgart on the back of that 2-1 win over Kiel. The odds here 7-4. On is your Leverkusen 10-3, the draw 17-4 is your away win. What a perfect way to start the weekend with an absolute cracker. Going to go with Bayern, Leverkusen winning here, 2-0 winners over Stuttgart to keep the heat at the top of the table and maybe even close in on the top 2. Meanwhile, speaking of top 2, we go to number 1, Bayern München. That's right, up against Union Berlin, coming at you the Allianz Arena in München. Vinny Kompany's boys sitting in top of the table with 20 points to the name. 50% form for them, though, over the last 6 in all competitions and all venues. Up against the Union Berlin side under Bo Svensson. They're on 67% form for them. Just 1 defeat in the last 6. They sit 4th with 15 points to the name. They played 11 times since 2009. 8 wins for Bayern, nothing for Union Berlin. There has been, though, 3 draws between the 2 sides. Their last time they played at this very venue, it was just the 1-0 win for Bayern. That's back in January 2024. Bayern on the back of that 5-0 win over Bochum, but turn the clocks back to the previous game. They did get spanked by Barcelona in the Champions League. Union Berlin on the back of that 1-1 draw against Frankfurt is a good result for them, and it continues their unbeaten streak of at least 3 matches. The odds right here, right now, we're looking at Bayern 11-2 on for the victory, 6-1 is the draw, 12-1 is your long shots. Bayern should win this one. I'm going reasonably big, 4-1 win to remain top of the table, but can RB Leipzig match them win for win? Meanwhile, let's head over to Frankfurt as they take on Bochum. That's right, the Deutsche Bank Park. Frankfurt under Dino Topmuller sits 6th right now, 14 points to them, just 1 defeat in the last 6. Up against Bochum, 5 defeats on the spin, 8% form for them right now. They are rooted to the foot of the table with just 1 point all season long. They played 29 times since 1992, 14 wins for Frankie, 9 wins for Bochum. There's been 6 draws between the 2 sides, including a draw last time around at this very venue. It was a 1-1 draw back in February 2024. There's actually been 3 draws on the spin between these 2 sides in all venues, of course, with the last victory being for Bochum in Bochum back in October 2022. Bochum, though, on the flip side, conceding 8 goals in the last 2 games combined, just scoring 1 goal in return. Frankie in the back of that draw against Union Berlin most recently. The odds right here, right now, we have 3-1 on is your Frankie, 13-2, your Bochum, 9-2 is your draw. Ain't happening here, guys. We're going to go back in Frankfurt, 2-0 win to take it to the house and make a big win for them. Meanwhile, hopping over to the Rhein-Neckar Arena as Hoffenheim under Pellegrino Matarazzo take on St. Pauli and Alexander Blessin. That's right, played 5 times in 2007. 2 wins for Hoffenheim, 1 win for St. Pauli, 2 draws between the 2 sides. Hoffenheim in 15th right now, 8 points to the name, a 50% form for them, win 2, lost 2, and drawn 2 of the last 6. St. Pauli winless in 4. They are 16th with 5 points to the name. The last time they played at this very venue, it was a 2-2 draw back in January 2011. It's been a long time, guys. Hoffenheim on the back of that 0-0 against Heidenheim. It's been actually back-to-back games now without a goal for Hoffenheim in all competitions and all venues. St. Pauli on the back of a 0-0 draw, a decent point against a solid Wolfsburg side. The odds for this one, we're looking at Hoffenheim 20-17 on for the victory, 14-5 is your St. Pauli, 14-5 is also the draw. Should be a Hoffenheim victory here. St. Pauli are not really at it, are they? Still trying to figure themselves out. 1-0 winners, Hoffenheim taking the W. Meanwhile, we go to Wolfsburg now as Ralf Hasenhüttl's boys take on Just Tolop's Augsburg. Of course, at the Volkswagen Arena. 33% form for Wolfsburg, just 1 win in the last 6 days, down to 14th right now as Wolfsburg hit a bit of a slump, just 8 points for the season. Augsburg up to 12th, 10 points for the campaign, winning 3 out of the last 4. Played 28 times, 8 wins for Wolfsburg, 10 for Augsburg, 10 draws as well. Last time they played at this very venue, it was a 3-1 win for Augsburg, who are unbeaten against them over the last 5, picking up 4 wins and just actually 3 wins and 2 draws between the 2 sides. Wolfsburg, though, on the back of that 0-0 draw against St. Pauli. Augsburg picking up a big 2-1 win over Dortmund, who, again, are not really at the races right now. The odds right here, you have Wolfsburg 20-19 on for the victory, 12-5 is your Augsburg, 14-5 is the draw. Could be a draw, but I think I'm going to lean towards Wolfsburg getting that win, maybe breaking a bit of a streak that Augsburg has at the moment, and maybe get them back on track, because right now Wolfsburg seem to be struggling. Next up, we go to, where we go, the Holstein Stadion. That's right, Holstein Kiel take on Heidenheim. Coming at you this coming, what is it, Saturday, Sunday, something like that. It's on the 2nd of November, Holstein Stadion. Holstein Kiel under Master Rapp. They are down to 17th with just 2 points for the campaign. Winless in 6 up against Heidenheim, who are 10th with 10 points for the campaign. On 58% form for them. At the moment, just 1 win, though, in the last 4. 17 times they have played since 2009. 5 wins for Holstein Kiel, 8 wins for Heidenheim. There's been 4 draws between the two sides. Last time, over at this very venue, it was a 3-1 win for Kiel back in October 2022. That was in the Zweite Bundesliga. In fact, the away side's only won once at the last, I don't know, maybe, what are we looking at? 14 games, something like that. And that's when Heidenheim beat Kiel in Kiel back in February 2020. It wasn't too long ago that both these two clubs were playing in the 3rd tier, the Bundesliga. The odds here are 70-10 is your Holstein Kiel, 29-20 is your Heidenheim, 12-5 is the draw. Heidenheim are a tricky little unit right now. Holstein Kiel still not really sure what they're all about either. But at this venue, I'm going to sit on the fence. I'm going to go with a 0-0 draw here. Point to the bag for Holstein Kiel, which is better than nothing. And then we have the game of the weekend. It is Borussia Dortmund with Nuri Sahin at the helm up against Leipzig and Marco Rose, ex-Dortmund coach, sitting in second. Level on points with table toppers Bayern München. They played 18 times since 2016, 8 wins apiece and 2 draws between the two sides. Dortmund, though, just 1 win in 4, of course. Pretty grim stuff right now. 50% form for them over the last 6. Leipzig, though, on the flip side, winning 4 of the last 6. They're on 67% form for them, and they sit second, of course, compared to Dortmund 7th. Now, the last time they played at Dortmund, it was a 3-2 win for Leipzig, who did the double over Dortmund last season, scoring 7 goals against their 3 over the course of those 2 games. Meanwhile, Leipzig on the back of a 3-1 win over Freiburg, Dortmund losing to Augsburg, of course, and they've also shipped 7 goals in the last 2 games, both in the Bundesliga and the Champions League. So Dortmund currently 5-4 for the victory, 2-1 is Leipzig, 13-5 is the draw. I'm not really a big believer in the Dortmund side right now, and of course, there could be some amounts bit of pressure under Nuri Sahin to remain in the helm. I'm giving them the edge, though. Giving them the edge in this game. Of course, in front of the yellow and black, I think they'll have just enough to get one over their old coach, Marco Rose, and maybe put them back on track. But a defeat here, and maybe a defeat in the Champions League, and it could get very interesting in the hot seat at Dortmund. Meanwhile, off to Freiburg we go as Julius Schuster's boys sitting 5th at the table, coming at you with 67% form for them right now. 2 defeats of the last 6, 15 points for the campaign. Mainz under Bo Henriksen are in 13th with 9 points to their name. Just 1 win in 4. They played 45 times since 1997. It's quite even. 15 wins for Freiburg, 16 wins for Mainz. It's been 14 draws between the two sides, including the last time they played at this very venue. It was a 1-1 draw back in April 2024. Mainz on the back of that draw against Gladbach. Freiburg losing to Leipzig most recently, but the odds for this, we have 10-7 on is your Freiburg, 29-10 is your Mainz, 29-10 is the draw, 7-2 is your away win. That is Mainz right here, right now. Yeah, tough one, but Freiburg should have enough in the tank to win this. Just enough, 1-0 winners, take the 3 points, and up the ladder they go. And then finally, folks, it's my boys. It's Borussia Mönchengladbach taking on Werder Bremen. That's right, coming at Borussia Park. Of course, now these two sides played 60 times since 1992. And talk about close. 23 wins for Gladbach, 23 wins for Bremen. 14 draws between the two sides. Bremen, though, under Gerardo Sione, sitting 11th. 10 points to the name, just 1 defeat in the last 5. Up against Bremen and Ole Werner. 58% form for them right now, just 1 defeat in the last 4. They're in 9th with 12 points to the campaign. Last time they played over at Mönchengladbach, it was a 2-2 draw back in December 2023. In fact, they did it was back-to-back 2-2 draws last time around, last season in Bremen and Gladbach. Competitively, it's actually been 3 draws on the spin. However, Mönchengladbach haven't won against them in the last 4 attempts. Meanwhile, Bremen on the back of a 2-2 draw themselves against Leverkusen. Gladbach on the back of a 1-1 draw against Mainz in Mainz. So a lot of draws knocking around. 21-20 is your Gladbach, 14-5 is the draw, 21-10 is your away win. I can't do it, guys. Got to back my boys here. That's right. Borussia Mönchengladbach 2-1 winners on their own turf to give them a big win this campaign. That completes my picks. Hopefully it completes your picks as well. To do so, make sure you get them submitted here for the Prediction League over in the Super Brew, and we'll come back next weekend to take a look at how you got on. But that, my friends, completes it. Until then, subscribe, smash the like. Until then, get involved in the channel, and I'll see you soon for the next one.